Discovering your true type can be confusing and overwhelming sometimes. There are so many tests out there that are worded in such a way as to push a certain type out of people. The INFJ type is one of the most commonly mistyped personality types. Research shows that about 80% of people who are typed as INFJs are actually ISFJs, INFPs, or ISFP. So in an effort to help clear up the confusion, I decided to make this video to help people find their true type. So you're in the right place if you're trying to figure out which you are, ISFJ versus INFJ. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamiso Miranda and this channel is all things INFJ, personal growth and lifestyle design. Stay tuned for some tips, tricks, hacks and tools on overcoming adversity to fulfill your potential and become the best you. If you'd like to learn how you could use life's adversities to your advantage, do consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon next to it. I'd like to first look at the dominant functions. ISFJ leads with their Introverted Sensing, SI, and the INFJ leads with the Introverted Intuition, NI. There are so many misconceptions out there about these two cognitive functions, so I want to start by looking over their similarities. The first similarity is that both the ISFJ and the INFJ enjoy to spend time alone. They like to spend time thinking about their ideas and thoughts in their minds. They both enjoy peace and quiet and they get overstimulated by too much sensory. Another similarity is that they both like to handle one task at a time as opposed to jumping from one task to the other tasks. It's easier for them to focus on one specific thing at a particular time. So because the ISFJ and INFJ both lead with a perceiving function, they both like to take time out to analyze and think over their thoughts before they can express their feelings and their emotions. A commonly asked question that I found was that, so how do I know if I'm using Introverted Intuition or Introverted Sensing? The best way I find to be able to figure out which of the cognitive functions that you use is to think about how you make decisions. Do you look at what's worked for you previously? What has worked for you in the past? Do you count upon your past experiences to help you in order to make future decisions because you trust and you know that these techniques are going to work and you are comfortable with that? Introverted Sensing are very focused on proven facts and techniques. They like to analyze the information and retain what has been proven or affirmed by personal experiences. So that means that theoretical data will just create havoc for them because that's information that has not been proven. Therefore, it makes them uncomfortable because it has no direct application into their daily lives. ISFJs are less likely to move forward based on a hunch or a gut feeling or an instinct. Another way to distinguish whether you are ISFJ or INFJ is to think about how you plan for the future. Both the ISFJ and the INFJ have very different ways in which they plan for their future. So how an INFJ plans for the future is that they take in all this information, conscious, unconscious data, theoretical, symbolic, and archetype information, right? So that data will then simmer in their mind whilst they toy with a different perspective and different possibilities. The INFJ will then go about their normal day-to-day activities whilst this information is still in the back of their mind and they're still trying to analyze and find what they can make of all this data that they have consumed consciously and unconsciously. And then randomly, they will have an aha moment when an idea has been cooked and is now ready to be shared with the outside world. On the other hand, let's take a quick look at how ISFJ plans for their future. ISFJ believe in their past experiences and they use that experience to make new decisions to move them forward. ISFJ like to find trends and patterns based on what has happened in the past, as I just briefly mentioned, they just simply take the current information, data that they have and compare it to the old data or situation that they've been through, and within the two they try to look for trends and similarities, and they basically compare the two until they come to a point where they find a healthy balance between what worked for them previously and this new information that they have. And that's how they come up with a plan to move them forward. Another way to compare how ISFJ and INFJ plan for their future is to ask yourself, do you believe in your intuition? Do you believe in gut instincts? Do you believe in an inner vision? Or do you just base your decision based on what has worked in the past, the tried, the true? Whilst INFJ absolutely run away with the idea of their introverted intuition, and this allows them to take in a ton of information. They can use the proven facts and some of it abstracts. They sit with it until they get to their aha moment. However, INFJs are a lot more blurry on the individual details, and they are far much more drawn to new experiences with new potential for them to grow and learn and develop. INFJs are very much unlikely to move forward in a decision purely based on their previous experience. They believe that everything is new, is fresh. Now, I know that this is so much information to take in, so if you do have any questions, drop them down in the description below. I would absolutely love to speak with you. Another question you could ask yourself on our quest to discover if we are an ISFJ or INFJ is to ask yourself that, do you like a routine? Do you like to do the same thing every single day according to a schedule? ISFJs feel very comfortable in having a routine and a tried and true structure. They know exactly what's coming next. They know that their day is already planned out. Whilst on the other hand, INFJs are very much discontented in having a set routine every single day. Familiar and repetitive routines actually drive INFJs crazy because they like to be free-spirited and to let their day take charge as opposed to planning out every single thing down to a T. INFJs are so much more interested in creating something new versus exploring down the old path. And another quick way to figure out whether you are ISFJ or INFJ is to ask yourself, what gets you in the zone? What makes you get focused? What puts you in a mood to do your best work? What brings out your motivation, your drive? As we have already discovered that the ISFJ thrives a lot based on their past experiences. In this situation as well, for an ISFJ to enter into a flow state, they have to, for example, remembering past experiences, that puts them into a flow state by going through all the details of the experience, something that they really enjoyed, something that is a happy thought for them. ISFJs are very nostalgic about their favorite pastime experiences. However, for an INFJ, if they were to remember an embarrassing memory or an embarrassing moment, they would feel that shame, that embarrassment all over again, as if that thing has just happened. They feel it so intense because they are so hooked on all the individual details. So if it's a negative memory, it brings back all the negative details down to a T, and this makes the ISFJ to feel very embarrassed, to feel very shy about something that happened possibly 10 years ago or a lifetime ago. But on the other hand, for an INFJ to enter into a flow state, they need to be given a task that is unfamiliar, something that they can create, something that they can envision for the future, something that they can create the process, the procedures, the whole thing, plan out the whole thing in their heads. This is what makes an INFJ enter into a flow state. By asking an INFJ to envision their life or their future 10 years from now, this gives them an opportunity to absolutely take a deep dive and get into their flow state. Before we take a closer look at our next commonly asked questions when trying to distinguish between ISFJ versus INFJ, if you have absolutely no idea what your personality type is and you'd like to find out,
I have a description in the link below
with a free Myers-Briggs type indicator test. Go ahead and check it out. Now let's look at the commonly asked questions of what makes you insecure. The way that an ISFJ and an INFJ feels insecure are very different. Because the ISFJ has a very inferior extroverted intuition, NE, they are often insecure about the unknown and uncertainties. They worry about future changes, safety concerns, and unpredictable situations. Whilst INFJs have the inferior extroverted sensing, SE, this makes them insecure about taking concrete actions off the bat. INFJs have difficulties responding in the moment to sudden changes in the environment. For example, as an INFJ myself, something like driving in a neighborhood that I have never been before. This makes me feel insecure because I have no idea what to expect. And another thing that makes me absolutely insecure as an INFJ is giving a speech or something impromptu, something that I have not planned for, something that I didn't see coming. If you have any further questions, please feel free to leave them down in the description below. I would love to talk with you. Now go and watch this playlist for more on INFJ, and I will see you in my next one as we continue our journey towards a more wholesome, healthier, and more meaningful lifestyle.